Yes, hi and welcome to this series of mental health. And when we talk about mental health, I would love to say it with a lot more smiles, because when we talk about mental health, some of us run to the illness, the madness, the craziness, the stoning and the insults and all that. And yet mental wellness is really the well-being, you being able to cope with stress, with challenges and everything that is going around you. One thing that makes me happy as we do this mental health series is that we have God by our side, and he promises that he's going to be with us through the mighty waters. We will not be overwhelmed, and through the fires we are not going to be consumed. So even as we dissect and go into the in-depth of the story of brilliant guests, okay, I hope that you will have that comfort in you that God is by your side, you're not going to be consumed, and you're not going to be overwhelmed. So today, the drum rolls, drum for King Wesley, the king of radio, now the king of TV, and the king of what else? Marriage.
Yeah, President Uganda Marriage Association of Uganda.
And also President
Federation of Gospel Arts Uganda.
And then there was a president of fathers.
No, by the way, kati yanyi nenge jenyingira mbwe nina association ya batata.
You're taking territory.
Inajinyirao. Nine bitunga bibiri bingendo okukola ngenda organizing omupiira gwa batata, omupiira gwa bamama. So then tulonde ba president ekimanyi ngena gwa president wa batata. So it's
And guys, do you see how he has said it here? Do not be surprised that before the end of this year, you will see that crazy thing come to pass. And for lack of better words, you will find me also in the corridors cheering. I don't know where he gets his crazy ideas, but he infects us with his craziness as
That's
well.
how I managed to manage my mental incapacitation.
No, you're incapacitated mentally.
Yeah.
So you're still recovering.
No, I'm not steady. Since that again, so because I really don't understand so much, I know somewhere one of my mental my
wires
blocks is
it keeps coming out.
So but
take I
thank God for it though. Probably that one makes me be one of those.
It makes you a genius.
Yeah.
You also think you're a genius?
Yeah, I am. So genius okuwangala gine myaka nga sifudde. And genius banji babivaamu. Yeah, and also
self-love, self
no,
what?
I'm a motivational speaker, self-motivation.
Ah, Jesus.
Yeah, but it's beautiful.
But it's good to have you here. And when I knew that we would be sharing your story, I know for sure this is ministry and it's going to help someone out there. I've been with you we've walked this journey for quite a long time. Yeah. And I will admit that there's so many times I have not known where you are. And then there are so many times where glimpses of the incapacitations have come seeping through. But again, what amazes me is the story that you keep telling about your life that some of us would never have seen.
You don't know that you got me out of my mental breakdown, yourself and team, without knowing.
So how does this start? Because I don't want us to start in the middle, because I'm also amazed at the statement that you're making. Yeah. But I would want to know, where did this journey start from? Because most of us, our genesis is really our families, where we grew up from. Maybe it's not direct hurting. We are really African families. The things that were done to us as children, we expect that parents, siblings, relatives are going to do. But how was that dynamic for you?
Surprisingly, I think every situation I am in, I put myself into it. I come from a very perfect family. Like we are eight. I'm the firstborn of those 8. It's still hard to believe. I know it is hard to believe. Because it is hard to believe, that's why I don't post my family, because I want them to live their own life. So I predicted in one way or the other in my life, probably in the future I'll hit a nosedive. So if I'm to go down, let me go down alone and not mess up people's lives. Because again, I try always in my life to look in the future more than that particular moment that I'm in.
But now we have to correct that.
Yeah.
So you're thinking in the negative.
No. Now. Ever since I got married, everything changed. Yeah.
You got married, or ever since you got born again? Jesus was not enough.
No, Jesus
Alice
wasn't
had to
enough.
come in.
Yeah, Alice had to come in. Jesus wasn't enough.
Okay.
Yeah, Jesus wasn't enough.
Okay.
Like Alice had to come into the picture, then now I had a bigger perspective of everything else. But in the beginning, like everything that I do was self-aware and self-cautious, that I do not mess up, and that's why I didn't post. I still don't post my parents on their birthdays, because again, social media is not a big deal for them. They're not there, they're on mobile money, you know. But I don't post my parents, I don't post my siblings. It's just one of them who sings, Carl Griffins, that I also get to realize a little bit later that he's also a singer. Then I now decided to post him, yeah. But initially my family is my family, and that's my whole life. So I come from a very beautiful,
so you
extended
feel
family.
that family did not affect you?
No, it didn't affect me anyway.
In any negative way?
I think my madness starts with me trying to prove a point.
So what point is that? At what point in your life does that come?
I think when I joined senior 1, all right, okay, in my primary 7, my father gets me out of the city center because I think one of those schools, I was expelled from one of those schools because I was really extremely stubborn. So his friend, rest in peace, Mr. Kalemera, takes me to Masulita Junior School. So he said, mwana abadde mu Kampala wano mumpe mutwaleko alabe kubana. Yeah, we were from Kampala parents, imagine, from Kampala parents to Masulita, kachiri gangu gobero eyo wansi, you know. Ne bakutwala nga gwe ka mu ssomero ayambala engatto mpozi n'abaana ba USO, Janet Museveni USO family yali ebeereeyo. There's a USO there. Then so you start living an independent life, and then you see life from a different perspective. That's how I start to know almost everything that is happening in the whole world. Life is totally different. So Masulita for me became an eye-opener. Now I became extremely stubborn because I knew I was untouchable, you know. The next day I found they had elected leaders. So the next day I'm introduced as an English prefect who was not even elected, who was a newcomer. Nebanteka ku leadership team. Nebafula English prefect. Then all of a sudden, then I became the scout because I had left Kampala as a scout. So I was a scout, then I was responsible to put up the school flags. Actually, they were bought specifically because I was going to that school. So the master again, hey, scout, take a flag akusoma left. Hey, okay. Nagula flags tugenda. So I'm in that school, holiday time comes and I stay there for me to learn a lesson. Now, instead of that, it added me a lot of craziness. Nti natambula ebyalo byonna ebyeyo byonna nemba mbimanyi liva mayanja java ne jakoma almost nga tubba fene tukola buli kavuyo konna
era ntegedde
nga even ntoloka n'okutoloka nenzijako mu trading center just ndage nti ntolose n'abaana nina nenziramu nenzirayo mu ssomero ng'otoloka ntolina gy'olaga. So for me it starts from there. Now senior 1 I found a school for myself, that was St. Augustine's College Wakiso. Now, St. Augustine's College Wakiso was also another crazy style for me because then I was independent now. So my parents knew a particular...
Senior 1?
Senior 1, yeah. My parents knew a particular figure of school fees. I
was
paying totally different, yeah. As in...
Ngokuba enjawulo?
Nkuba enjawulo ate mbazadde babiri kati senga wange nga njagala nnyo. Kati yanenga ne musa school nga muzeyita nampa kati ye nga asooka mpa njira neno nenjira. So I had a lot of money to myself. And then I became extremely never to go back. That's how I ended up going like 15, 14 schools.
So the whole of that time, you're still figuring out life, you're stubborn and all that. But when does it hit you, nti I am living in the reality of life, and sisobola kuseyeya, when does the stress come in? When's that place where you sit down and you're like, things are not adding up as they used to add up? Things are getting a little bit harder.
They never added up until, because because I think in the pursuit of wanting to be someone significant, so
did that weigh you down?
No, it didn't weigh me down. Instead, it built me crazier. I tried to prove a point in, okay, you might think I'm shorter than you guys, eh? But let me prove to you that what I can do. So I joined the boxing club. Yeah, Warola Kasubi. You know, so I joined the boxing club, then turning on Kuba. Yeah,
So you found a coping mechanism.
Yeah,
How to show the kubalaga kunti omanyi.
Kitiibwa ne kijja nga bw'olinnya ku ngato yange n'otangamba sorry nga ogulibwa kkubo olw'eggulo. So
but the thing that means you sought to have more of that instead of wallowing and listening to whatever they were saying.
No.
So you wanted to cover up,
there is
to cover it up
nothing
more.
that anybody said to me in my school time, even up to now, that still can put me down. There is nothing. So for me, that became, and I became a king in that space. So until one day ne bampisa ku church, ku Glory of Christ Church e Kawaala, nga n'abasumba bayimiridde wali naye nga nva kuba musomesa, nga bampisa abantu wala ku police e Kawaala. So then I realized, okay, wano nno ndayika ampiseewo ntuse ku eno level okuba nga bampisa ne ku church gyembeerako n'ensavinga. Because I started serving at a younger age in church, in the youth ministry.
Who was a Christian?
My mom, even my dad, everybody was a Christian. So church has been my life. Actually, the challenge is that when you grow up as a born-again Christian from a born-again Christian family, sometimes it becomes a normal status. Like it's normal. It's salvation
it's not your
personal thing. Then go serving up because your mom feels good when she knows that you serve in church. But so so in my senior 6, after senior 6, there's a kid that I hit namukube broker yankuba nenswala for the very first time in my life lebankuba. So nebankube guy nankube chikone nempunga nshitamba jita swame. So then after there I realized, I looked at the guy, I recognized him. So I kept him for 3 months, 3 solid months. So I found him standing on a chapel stall. I picked a brick, I hit him on the head. He fell there, he almost lost his life. And everybody was saying, they used to call me bad news. Bad news, some difference. But standing there in my mind, I was like, Lord, if this guy is okay, I am not doing this. I am not doing this again. So God willing, there was a nurse who came and rescued and stuff like that, chased away people. He regained his conscience. That was my turning point in that regard, to leave fighting. Today, that's why even when I joined university, no, that's why even when I joined university, ngabana ba striking. Nenga buli omu yenna mmanyi gyenva. Fa abakuliranga akavuyo ki bamtanga Wesley. Bad news wagwan. Mbani. Nze nga strike assistant nga nemukona wewe ninyaka border. Those days Capella University borders will enter the university. There and then once waka faculty IT. Ngajifulumirawo. Back to my grind chikoni. And so I avoided anything chaotic thereafter. So ministry took my time now. I soaked myself more in ministry at UCAF, dance, what.
And that is after campus?
After campus, now after campus, then my life started to structure up very well. You know, after campus and in my involvement in ministry and stuff like that. So then I let go. But when I started being a media personality now, when everything was going on very well, like
when the world was seeing,
social media platforms were the real deal. Because I remember we joined the Facebook when it was still being tested in the US. I had a girlfriend because we had a platform called Great Valley in 2007. 2007 there was a platform called Great Valley that we were using to chat. So then it closed down. It was an Indian site. So there's this girl. Facebook, the time we joined Facebook, it was on an invitation. So the girl said, there's this platform we are trying to join in here in the US. I don't know whether it works. So I joined it, then it turned it out. So we joined Facebook at Fire. We're going to join Facebook and we're now following the Yeah, but when I joined Media Spirit, I remember everything started falling into shape. I envisioned quite a lot of things. I felt there was a lot of what can I say, a lot of responsibility on my head, on my mind, to create everything that I envisioned for the gospel industry and everything that I was trying to do. And that was a lot for me to comprehend and understand, and even look at the younger industry that it is, on whether we'll be able to reach there. And then I remember that there was a time when there were not very many Christian MCs, so I'll be almost on every Christian event. And then thereafter, when the lights are gone, you go back home to being you, to you yourself. Like reality always kicked in when you're opening
So
your door.
this was mostly because, according to how I hear you explain, it's more like a celebrity depression.
Yeah.
Of I have two personas,
Yes.
or two personalities. One is the celebrity, the famous, the
Yes,
one
the
that is
famous one,
praised
like,
when
yeah.
the lights are on and
Yeah.
the cameras are on.
Yeah.
I'm the one taking action.
Yeah.
But again, there is a me behind the scene that
Yeah.
people don't know
People
about.
don't know. People don't even care to know. People don't understand your struggles. They don't know what you go through. I remember every day I would come here, Papa's, and then we would do the morning show, you know. And then Natal would say, how are you today? I said, man, I'm still in that bottomless pit. So it became a greeting platform for Natal to me. Are you still in that bottomless pit? I'm like, I'm still going down.
So did she know
She
what you
didn't
were
know.
going through? She
She
thought
didn't
it was a joke.
Yeah, she thought it was a joke. Because after that, the show would go on very well. But thereafter, after my show, you drive your car, you know, and then go back to your house, and you're there in alone. You don't know who to talk to, who to trust, how them
Different
to
people view you differently.
Exactly.
And they have expectations.
Because now every artist then was my friend because they knew I'll probably help them elevate
Give
them,
them
to a
the platform.
give them a platform to a particular level. To the fans, they felt like I was the life of the party. You understand that. So now in the gospel circles, I was a symbol of celebration, you know, to every
Did you
young
ever
person.
dissect to find out what was the real void inside of you, outside of the cameras and the lights and and
void,
everything else?
The void was letting in people.
You didn't know how to see.
Yeah, I didn't know how to let in people.
So you
in
blocked
my,
everyone.
Yeah, in my inner. I'm an introvert. People don't know that.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Actually, one of the reasons that's why I married Alice is because she understood the me, the boring me, the real boring. Because I was scared people would know I'm boring and they won't like me.
Now that makes a lot of sense.
You get it?
That makes a lot
exactly.
of sense.
Because
As in, if I give you access to me long enough, you will discover who I truly am, and you will not like me.
Exactly. Because even the girls I tried to date, so she comes to visit you, and then you don't say stuff, and she's like, "Am I boring you? Am I boring? You're not saying anything?"
Because they know that Wesley on radio.
Exactly.
And on stage.
Exactly. And then they are faced with the reality of the Wesley.
Here you are
who's
on your
boring,
phone.
who is on his phone, who does not even answer WhatsApp messages, who is not even on social media. Like, I am on my phone just going through stuff. I don't even know what I'm going through, but I'm on my phone
having
to avoid.
fish as company.
Exactly. But I just don't get it.
I remember that part.
Yeah, exactly. So now, that's why you managed to call me all the time and I tell you I was home. And you kept wondering, how does Wesley be home all the time?
It didn't add up. That is why so many times we sneaked up on you, because we were like, what is this? Is he lying to us? Let's drive by and see.
Exactly. And then you just couldn't comprehend. So now, my family knew who I was. That's why it even took them a long time to know that I was working on radio until they saw the billboards. And yet they listened to Spirit because it's a Christian media house, they are Christians. So they did not know the King Wesley vis-a-vis the Silver they know. You get it? The Silver they know is not that funny. He's not that crazy. He's not that, outgoing. He's not all those things. He's a creative. You get it? Yeah. Now,
all of a sudden,
they see billboard is like, wait. This is the guy we listen to in the morning. It is impossible. You understand that? Now, this is life I've never shared anyway. People don't know that I'm even an introvert. So now, the challenge I faced was to let in people to come and accept me the way I am.
Because you thought that you were boring?
Yeah, I was boring.
When someone leaves
I'm not thinking I am boring.
Yes, you are.
I am boring.
That much I will not argue.
Yeah.
But the fear, I want us to be able to dissect that fear. Yeah. Because again, there's people, celebrities, fearing that when someone comes, they will take word from my camp to another camp.
Yeah.
They will either speak ill of me
Yes.
or show what the parts of me that I don't want to show
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
So now you're safeguarding yourself.
Yes.
But remember, you have a need as a human being to connect.
To connect. I had a need to connect. I had a need to be with friends. I had a need to be with people. But also, like I said, I'm very futuristic. That's why I don't have a trail of conversations with people on my WhatsApp, because I know screenshots were supposed to fly in the near future. That's why I didn't do anything wrong to somebody, because I know it will come back and then
So you lived a cautious life.
a very seriously cautious life. That's why I never dated girls who would keep going saying stuff about me thereafter in the future. So I tried as much as possible.
That was a limited life, like
Very
too
limited.
limited.
Very limited.
You
because,
boxed yourself
yeah,
up.
because I knew it was going to be great. I knew it was going to be great.
So you're from dancing, you're from a party, you're from
Yes.
emceeing.
Yeah.
Everyone is just thinking that guy,
That
that
guy,
guy.
yeah.
And you're going back to just
Me and
living
my
life
TV.
alone.
Me and my TV, my movies, and my PlayStation. I have a PlayStation that has one pad. I play with myself. So
Okay, because I want us, we will definitely get to the part where you get to integrate, whether you actually succeeded
Yeah.
in integrating these two personalities.
Yeah.
Because again, that is very crucial
Very, yeah.
to know. But I want to know, what did that cost you? What did that, is that something that you healed from? Or it's something that still lingers in your mind?
it's a tough space. For example, I tell you this, I don't think I have more than 2 friends. Like, those are called best friends any day, anytime. There's nobody that I ever called in my life to be a best friend of mine. No, I don't think. No, by the way, on a serious note, like, I was very cautious with who I even let in. Like, I know anytime I may actually fail you. So my relationship with you is plastic.
Fail
and
them.
For
Okay.
that, but because your expectations towards me
Expectations.
may be too much, and I may not be willing to actually give you that. So I didn't go in social clubs. I didn't contribute to people's weddings. I didn't contribute to people's parties. Like, coming to your wedding was an inconvenience for me. I don't visit. I'm starting to learn to visit because I'm married, which is hectic. Half of my family has not met my daughter now. More than half of it, I think. It's only a few. Now I have this whole busy life thing that I use as a buffer.
to protect yourself.
So when
So it's more like alcohol now.
Yes.
The busy life and
yes. So my family, when they got to know that I'm on radio now, that became an excuse for me never to show up for anything again. Yeah. Now I became so busy. So
but not because you were so busy.
not because I was so busy, I can always have time, but I feel like I'm going to sit with them. Their expectations of me is different. They're going to judge me. I may say things that I may not annoy them. I rather be in my own world. So
Did you at some point feel like you being in your own world, it will increase or create respect in people's lives towards you?
No.
That when you are with them, it will come down because of the expectations?
No. It wasn't about respect. It was about me disappointing them.
So it was more of fear-based?
Yes. Me
Wow.
disappointing them.
That's deep.
Exactly.
That's really
So
deep.
it was about me disappointing them, me not living up to your expectations. Yeah. So and I get bored so easily. So when I get bored so easily.
So that means you actually made up your mind on their behalf. You
Yes.
thought for them.
Yes.
You make conclusions for them.
Yes.
And so when you did that, then
Yes.
you would, it's like maybe there are so many girls that you didn't approach.
Yes.
Because you thought for them,
Yes.
made conclusions for them,
Yes.
and you cut that away.
Yeah,
and
but
walked away.
for the girls, I always wanted the best. I could always look out for the best in the crowd for me to go. And there are not very many anyway.
But how would you know? Because you're running away from
No,
everyone.
I know beautiful when I see beautiful. So I would go for you, but then in the middle of our conversation, I'd feel like I think I'm gonna fail this girl.
So it would still come back to you.
Yeah. I'm gonna fail this girl. Oprah, she's gonna bore me. I may get bored easily. Now this is my mind. I tell you this. Now every time I see a girl, I used to see a girl, you'll be so nice and so beautiful. So I'll look for you. I'll search for you. I'll get you. I could never fail to get any girl that I wanted. But the issue is, while I'm still talking to you, I start noticing quite a lot of things that I can't put up with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the shallow mind.
Yeah, of course that one.
Not,
Yeah,
the
the shallow mind,
intellect,
yeah, the
not-
intellect, and then when you dig deeper into your family lifestyle, your values, those I didn't want because I wanted to put up a very beautiful family.
Were you just looking for problems and negativity? Because there are people also who also fail themselves.
Yeah. I always look.
All they have magnifying lenses for all
Yeah.
the bad things.
Yeah. I always look out for those things because I know for a fact I was going to get bored by you. So I always wanted someone that I will not get bored of. And that kept me in the single sphere for years because there is nothing such a thing like that at some particular point.
At what point do those thoughts translate into suicidal thoughts?
Now, while the lights are on and stuff like that, I'm on radio every day, I'm in the parties every day. There's a time Levikson had a show, I remember it was at Bugolobi Suits. Yeah, Bugolobi Suits. So he tells me, man, you going to MC my show? I'm like, nah, I'm not coming through. He's like, man, you're the only guy that I have for the show. So I'm like, cool, yo, no worries. I got you. But because he insisted, so I thought, I'm not going to go, you know? So I stay in there, and then at my house, and I feel like I just don't want to go. I think I've had enough of it. I just need to let go of this and then dim all the lights out.
Okay.
Yeah? Dim all the lights out. So I reached a particular phase. On that particular day, I remember that was the peak of everything.
You didn't move out?
No, I stayed there. That was the peak of everything. So while we was at that event, I think, was it either Sammy K or somebody else called me from the venue. It's like, this MC that is here is killing this show.
Like they are really doing
they are,
well.
no, they are terribly murdering this show.
Okay. You know, these days the language changed.
Yeah.
Killing could mean
this
hyping.
You need to, we thought you're the MC, you need to come and rescue this young man's what show? So I'm like, man, I decided to storm and go to Bugolobi. So I reached Bugolobi on holding the microphone. Everybody in the audience was shouting and
screaming.
Clapped. Now that is when tears started rolling down my eyes. And I could not believe it. So when I stood, it was a charity show. So I stand with this microphone and my tears are rolling down my eyes. And then everybody all of a sudden kept quiet. So I said, well, sorry guys for spoiling your show. It's just that I'm looking at all of you here who have decided to come for charity and give the little that you have for somebody.
You turned it around.
Yeah, I had to turn
like
it
the
around.
superstar you are.
Like, turn it around. But that happened subconsciously, that my tears were rolling down because I'm looking at all these people excited to see
They
the
have a
king
totally
of
different
radio.
mindset.
Yes. And yet I'm like a little girl gasping for breath and air, and I'm drowning and I need help, and nobody can see that. And instead
you don't know why you're drowning.
Yeah, and everybody looks at me, feel like I am the one who's
the king.
rescued them. Someone. So that was it.
Wow.
So it was a terrible experience for me. I remember after the show, I booked in at Bugolobi. I went into that room, stayed in that room, went with that showered, and then after that, around something like 3 a.m. in the night, I decided to drive out and then come back to my place and face the reality of where my house is. So
because that's where you were reminded of the other part of you mostly.
Yes.
When you were alone in your home.
Always. No, the moment the Askari opened that gate for me,
you felt like it's a different world.
And this is the real me that people don't know. And I don't like me now.
The lights have been dimmed.
Yeah. I don't like me now.
Now I can hear, in the silence, I can hear myself.
Oh, yeah.
I can.
Oh, yeah. So that's why I never had a lot of visitors there, because I felt they would still be bored by me. So I had like 2 girls who came visiting me that I think I said, this is going to stop, because I think they never understand me. And then those guys never knew even why our relationships ended. But they ended. We left each other in a relationship, you know. But
so at what point do you feel that all I'll not say that the turnaround,
Yeah.
but when you say the peak, that means it's been a build-up.
Yeah, it was a
There are
build-up.
triggers
Yeah, it
that
was a
bring
build-up.
the build-up.
Yeah.
Did you recognize any triggers that brought you to that build-up?
No, the idea that I was waking up to make people happy every day,
And yet you were not happy.
and yet I wasn't happy.
That was
That was killing me
enough.
inside. Yeah, that was killing me inside. Come in this space and everybody say, Wesley, but the Wesley you want to keep around is not really excited and happy as you think.
Yeah.
You understand that? So be on that show, do that show and go. Do that show. You know, radio is funny. Radio is funny that you can be on a phone and then you're so soaked into your things, and when microphone starts up, then boom, you start, you know, having discussions going on.
And everyone thinks you're a different person.
Exactly, exactly. So for me, that was it. And every time I'd go out, I'd try to, you know. Then there was also fellowships. I think those are the times that even I think Fanero Fellowship started.
Yeah.
So I was in charge of getting ministers in Fanero, artists, you know, singing in Fanero ministries.
And everyone was worshipping.
Yeah. You reach in there,
You.
Kalulu, you know. Apostle says, man of God is here. You're like, yeah, like clap for you. They want to say hello to you, but like, I'm boring. I wish they know.
You're different you.
Yeah, different me.
You don't like you.
I don't like me. I didn't like me for quite some time. And then boom, I think it went on until 2017. And 2017, that was the time I had even decided to pull down all the events that I was trying to do. I was doing the BitConnects then. I'm like, I think I'm done.
This is it.
Yeah, this is it. I'm going to end my life and I'm going to pull down all these events. So nothing is going to happen. Let me start to see what happens if there's no event going on. But then for some reason, I think there was a lot of pressure coming in from the Royal Army. For them, they expected
something should be happening.
Something should be happening. So I just did that BitConnect. Just that. I think even Levickson insisted, because that's when he insisted that we needed to have Exodus on. He needed to MC as well and stuff like that. So I'm like, it's just a party. I love doing those shows. Let me just do it for them. Not knowing that I was doing it for myself. So when I did that, now, in this spirit of time when I'm trying to do this, that's when I started, you know, speaking a lot of weird in parables, you know, and then you kept saying stuff that kept healing me. You get it?
I remember you used to come to office unannounced all the
Yeah,
time.
all the time. So you kept saying stuff that used to heal me. And I realized I just needed to have a different perspective of life. Then Tim also started speaking futuristic into my life. Then I felt like if I ended my life, I would disappoint Tim. The last thing I want to do in my life is disappoint that man. So I felt like I was going to disappoint him. Then here you are as well, speaking in my life. And then I start to see a ray of light. You know, when you're in a dark
I remember how you used to come and just hold deliberately selfish, read one chapter and laugh about it.
Yeah, and laugh about it. And then
joke about
life. And then whatever you used to say to me was healing parts of my wounds that were in the inside of me without knowing exactly they were. You know where you have pain all over, but you can't put exact space where that pain is?
Yeah.
So that was it. So you started healing bits by bits, bits by bits, bits by bits. I remember there's a time my pastor, Michael Rutomio, I told him sometime at church, I think I'm going to quit this radio thing. Yeah, there's a time I was going to quit, actually. So I think he got concerned because that's not the son's reason to see. That's not the person he's ever seen. I've never been in his office for prayers or that I'm going through anything. No, never. I've never been in anybody's pastors, you know. But him hearing me say that, he felt like, okay, there's something terrible. Yeah. So he calls me at Java's and he says, I want to talk to you. So I tell him, man, I think I'm done. He's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I'm done. Like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I think I'm done with this radio thing. So he said, what do you want to do now? I think I just want to level up. Just reset the button. You know, press the reset button, start from ground zero to something that I don't even know. If I need to get out of this country, I definitely would. And that's the last thing. Everybody around me knows the last thing I want is get out of this country. Yeah, I feel inconvenienced every time I have to travel, even if I'm just going to MC an awards event anywhere. So He said, did you study what you're doing? I said, no. He said, did you do anything to get yourself where you are? I said, no. He said, did you apply for the job that you have? He said, no. He said, why are you trying to earn something that you didn't have anything to do with in the first place?
That was wise.
So he said, so whatever is stressing your head, get back to what you're supposed to be doing. This is foolish talk.
I love that. Tough love.
Yeah. And that was it. That was the end of our meeting. So I come back here, almost the same thing. You're echoing over and over again. So after that, I get to start sober up.
So how does the sobering up, apart from the contribution of the different people that you allowed to speak into your life, when did you feel like now there's a bit of hope in my life? And I think I'm starting to lose the thoughts that I had in my mind, and I'm aiming for better. Yeah.
I think when you know what lies ahead of you, the responsibilities that lies ahead of you, and knowing that actually what you have and the responsibilities ahead of you are not just only for you as an individual. Because it starts with the selfish interest as us. Most of the times these suicidal thoughts are rotated about selfishness. It's about you. Yeah. It's about
I feel
you.
bored, I feel bad, I feel I'm not loved.
Exactly. It's about you. But have you tried to get yourself out of those shoes and then put yourself in the other people that will be affected when you're not around? Now that is the most important picture that people never draw. Those who take their lives. They don't draw a picture how your parents will stay, how they will feel, what they think of you, how your siblings will look at you.
How it will affect them.
How it will affect them. Now, me, I was at another level now. I was an icon in the gospel circles. Now, how will the industry be? How now the people that I constantly meet on a daily with hopes and dreams and plans for my life be and think, and after that, what impact will it have? You know, because taking your life is not cutting head off the chicken. No, it's not that. It's a soul. It's dreams, a life. It's dreams and all those things. And then thereafter, very many questions will come thereafter. But have you prepared people enough for them to answer for what's going on in your life? Have you prepared everybody around you? How would I leave Natal on that show? Would she remain the same? You know, if I took my life while on radio show, will Natal remain the same for the rest of her life, or she'll be hitting herself up for not being able to see what exactly what was taken, and would continuously joke about it every day? And then the radio station itself, where would it be left? People will start saying what's happening. A Christian media personality takes his life. How does that add up? So when I drew all those things, and I said, I need to sober up. I need to get my things together. So then speaking to you majorly helped me a lot. And then Tim as well. I can't say any other person, really. Nobody speaks into my life. I don't let people speak into my life that much. But the few voices that are allowed to, God used them to speak to me. And
even when you had not opened about
I never opened. This is the first time I'm opening up. I think the times that I've talked about, that is when I'm emceeing. I'm just, saying, you helped me out of that. But the depths of this, I've never shared anywhere. Not even my wife knows these things. So I know she was going to watch this and she's going to be like, what is this? But then on that event that I was organizing, I see Alice. That beat connect I was saying was the last I wasn't going to do. And Alice comes through to just brought by a friend to just, enjoy gospel music and artists and stuff like that. So I see this beautiful girl. Like, who's this girl? I ain't seen anybody like this, Then I approach her. Then when she started being in my life, she is the only person she called me more than I called her. I'm terrible. Like I said, I am terrible. I'm disappointing.
And now that I know the story, now I understand what it means when you say she called me more than I called her.
Yes.
Because that means that for her, she did not get to feel like he doesn't love me.
Yeah.
She felt like he's hiding.
Yes.
So I need to get him out of,
I don't know
out
about
of
that.
the hiding.
Because you see, even when we was just friends, she called me more. And she's the only girl that I missed phone calls deliberately, and she never got angry for me not picking them. But every girl that felt like had a closeness to me, you miss a phone call. My goodness,
Can't wait touchy.
I don't know what
because you're a
happens in girls' heads.
celebrity.
Oh my goodness, there's a lot of cockroaches going on in their heads, girls. Jesus, they make a big thing out of something small. She texted me. Up to now, I don't think we have a chat history of WhatsApp. There's ever since we started chatting, I think the whole conversation is still on. Like it's not that too big. Then we'll call, we'll talk and stuff like that. She wouldn't be angry at me. If I said I'm not going to see you today, she wouldn't have a problem with it. So every man wants peace.
Yeah.
I looked at peace in front of me. I'm like, wait a minute.
Instead of being in your own trauma and your own problems, and then you add more fire.
Yes,
to the
exactly.
problems.
So when she came
I
to
hope
see
that
me,
most people can hear this.
yeah, when she came to see me, she would talk more. I listen more.
She will not feel like you're boring me.
No.
She'll be like, you know what?
No. And
I'll just be authentic. I'll just be myself.
Exactly. And I let her be. I listen more. And then I think she likes me because I even listen to things she thought I didn't listen to. The simple nitty-gritty details, I listen to them more. And it's only people who can be able to listen can understand those simple things you keep mentioning about your colors that you love, your kind of ring that you would like, and stuff like that. Because even when I went to Dubai, I bought exactly what she wanted and she couldn't believe it. I said, I always listen to what you used to say and wish for. So she's that girl.
So you feel like there's a ray of light that came into your life?
Oh yeah, she came like
you started
Jesus.
seeing
She was
colours.
Jesus, my friend. She was Jesus.
In
She
person.
saved, in person. She saved me. She gave me reason to live. She gave me purpose to go on. I looked at a lot of things that I never looked at with other people. I looked at family. As a matter of fact, I wanted to have one child, but I looked at having a possibility of having more. And you know, like the idea of even wanting to get married, that wasn't me. That you remember very well.
A big wedding on TV.
Oh, yeah, on TV and lockdown anyway. But that's why even when my family came for my wedding, they were in awe of the people that I had invited on my wedding.
The caliber of people.
The caliber of people, all these pastors they have admired all their lives and they fellowship with, they didn't know that their son knows them. I don't think my mom said a word on that wedding. I don't think my aunties even said anything. Even at the last minute, everybody was shocked that I was getting married. Even the people that I invited did not see Alice in photo because even the card that I had.
I came to the wedding just to be sure that indeed it was happening.
Yeah. The card itself had only names, it didn't have photos, so people didn't know who I was getting married to. So in fact, if I had invited them to a gay wedding, they would probably would be shocked there. But I tell you this, that Alice's coming in my life was a pivotal point and total healing for my life completely. You know, you can be healed but have some of those residues still in you.
Yeah.
But she cleared almost all the stuff in there, and now I'm totally free man.
Wow.
Yeah.
But do you love her in the do you reciprocate that in the same measure?
Do I have a
because
choice?
People who keep hiding and people who keep
Do I have a choice? I don't have a choice. I've tried.
You either do it or do it.
Yeah, either do it or do it. But she knows I love her to the end of this world. She knows my whole life depends on loving her. She's more literally like my oxygen machine. Yeah, if I stop loving her, I think I'll stop living. Yeah.
What things, apart from definitely Alice, the people that have spoken into your life, what other things would you attribute your healing journey to, your bounce back journey to?
Accepting that I have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, until you accept this is not who you envisioned to be, this is not who you were, you're not, you've drifted off the main road.
Yeah.
This Spania you're taking is is bumpy. It becomes very hard for you to get that steering wheel back to the main course. Yeah, you still stay in denial. And then also accepting yourself that as who you were.
Right then.
Yeah, right there, that you know, yes, I'm an introvert. I have two split personalities. That I have this extrovert that gets out there and is crazy and all that. Then there's this me that is boring. Now, if I can match them, that can I have Alice accept my world, understand my world,
understand both sides,
understand both worlds, and then that's it. for me,
when we are in the limelight, let's dance and
Oh,
go
yeah,
away.
yeah,
When
yeah,
we
yeah,
are
yeah.
in a boring
And for some reason, I
state,
think, like, you know, like, and you're in a trance, you're in a moment. I'm in a moment, I'm dancing, I'm having a good time with all this.
yeah.
Boom, then
And then
I'm
all of a
boring.
sudden the lights are off.
Then I'm boring, and that's me. So it's a space that is not understandable for very many people. But I met that one person who understood me.
Who wants both worlds.
Who wants both worlds, who understands both worlds. And
is anchored on God.
And he is anchored on God and is willing to go all
Just
the way.
imagine a person who doesn't have any anchor,
Yeah.
and all they're depending on is you.
Yep. So to me, it was accepting that you're king, you're terribly ill, my friend. Yeah. Yeah, like
You can't say it to anyone, but admit it.
Yeah. You know, I have those moments that I speak to myself a lot. I actually used to speak to myself a lot more than I speak to any other person. Like, I'd have serious conversations.
Yeah, that's a sign of madness.
Yeah, I have serious man, I can have serious conversations. I'm telling you, man. Oh my goodness.
So what would you tell yourself?
A lot of things. And guess what? It started with what, like, you see, every stage I'm on at, I have practiced and said quite everything I'm going to say before I say it.
Okay.
Yeah. Every stage I'm at. Like, there is no place that I've been to that I've never been there before.
Okay.
Yeah, like any show in town before it happens, every big stage I've stepped on, I've been there before it. So I've stood in that mirror, had amazing conversations. I've had a good time with myself. Went back and forth on different ideas, how they will end up, how they will start, how they will
You're a
vision.
perfectionist.
Exactly. So those things to me.
That also brings a lot of pressure.
Now that was terrible though. Now the perfection side of me was terrible.
Because the responsibility is too
oh
huge
my
to
goodness. I actually, part of that is also wanting to heal from suits. You remember? Oh my God.
carry. I know.
I think suits were my hiding place.
I knew that.
Yeah, suits were my hiding place. Being so sharply dressed was my hiding place. So I hid almost everything in that.
It almost compensated for a lot.
Exactly.
For your boredom.
And it was very expensive for me. Very expensive. I remember, I think Alice looked at my closet and like, what is this in the world? And like, I looked at it after and I look at all this money I spent at the wardrobe. So
you saw that you were masking yourself.
Yes. I found a place that I was running into, because who does that? As in every star, because later I realized people borrowed clothes and stuff, but I would buy from the wardrobe every time I'm emceeing an event or a wedding.
And that was every weekend?
On every weekend, on my money that I was paid, so I'll just buy that. So to me, starting to let go, I'm like, okay, can I be shabby? Which is hard, but I try as much as possible. Can I relax?
That means you being authentic.
Yeah, I decided to let go.
Not counting on whether you will be accepted or not.
Yes,
not being perfect.
I didn't care.
And so you would edit every picture moment, so that the people that saw you a certain picture, perfect picture.
Yeah.
So you're like, you know what, the shoes have to be like this. I remember the gold shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. I had very many shoes in my whole room full of shoes. Jesus, my life was terrible.
So that means we bandage ourselves with so much.
Shopping, shopping, buying things, owning things.
Proving a point
to yourself, to Instagram, to social media, to Facebook and stuff like that.
You was not masking.
No, luzungu katichali nga chilala wali network.
Your perfection was across the board, everything.
Yeah, almost everything. But Alice comes through and says, you're not buying any suit again. I'm like, oh, my controlling wife, she wants to destroy my life. But that was in my head.
She made your life better.
But she made it better, so I stopped buying suits. I actually redid all. It's a really...
The pink suits.
My friend.
The purple suits.
Oh my God, I bought everything. Wardrobe here yakolanga chimu kunetera abantu okuva Italy nga bwa shopping aleta size awe ziringa azileta zonga amanyigo ziyagana zitwala buli weekend. So a suit of 1.2 million shillings, I'll get it at 800 and 700. So I became a customer. Shoes of 600, 700, I get them at 350, 400. So I became a customer because I was paid for emceeing.
But the more you masked, the more the pain
became intense. I didn't heal from that.
the more you felt you were unworthy,
There was
the more you
no-
felt you would not be accepted.
There was no
you would
amount
not
of
be-
suit that I put on that made me feel complete. There was no. But now, I don't care. Can put on a t-shirt and I'm fine. I think that's why I managed to do even the African exclusive and do jeans, damaged jeans, t-shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was healed. That was never going to be me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many people who are, no, I will not say sick, but they are depressed, they're carrying so much, but they are bandaging with something. You
Yes.
see, there is a habit that you have, you keep doing, but it's not because you want to do it, but because you're masking your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
You're hiding your life.
Yeah.
Do you know that people hide in church as well?
Yeah.
Like, they don't leave church, they're always in church, they're
We
fasting
was
and
it.
praying, they're
We
doing
were
everything.
leading the youth ministry in UCF church. Yeah, we were terribly going through quite a lot of stuff. Like, you know, church is crazy. Like, everybody's in there. Until
For their own reason.
Until people get to reflect on themselves and admit that I need help, I am not
As
fine.
an individual.
As an
This is not a
individual.
bandwagon.
It is not a bandwagon. It is not anything. I tell you this, you'll hurt, you'll get into a particular relationship and hurt that person
bad one.
without even that person knowing that it is not even your doing.
Yeah.
You
by the
understand
way.
that you're toxic, but you don't even know that you're toxic and you're not even the cause of that toxicness. And then it carries on. You jump from this relationship to another. Other people get married when they have not even healed and they
I
continue to mess up stuff. Now imagine there was a time probably I would have even gotten married because the pressure was too much. People thought I was gay. So you hear those rumors in the corridors. Now they continue to even soak you in. Like, let me
Because
just
you
marry
had
to
shut
prove a
your
point.
world
Yeah,
from every woman, from every
Let me
girl.
prove a point. Let me marry to prove a point. And then you
Yeah.
marry to prove a point. The
So
reality
bad.
of you is not, you're not even interested in this girl.
No, just imagine, with all the pain that you have,
Yeah.
you bring a catalyst of the pain
Aha.
in the picture.
Babes, ladies, sometimes you're on another level.
The Bible says, like, the woman who is, the quarrelsome woman who never stops, like
I
the
am
rain
telling
that
you.
is on the iron sheets and never stops.
It happened before. There was a quarrelsome girl that I had.
A quarrelsome girl. Just
Very-
a girlfriend who is quarrelsome.
Yes, very quarrelsome. One of those
Like,
days.
what audacity do people have? So what
one of-
was she quarreling
one of-
about?
No, she picked on almost everything. Jesus, she was a demon. Like, she, every time. So there's this time we were at church. So we said, okay, you come at church, then we can go home later together in the evening after church, probably catch a movie, stuff like I love cooking. So then, man, I'm at church, these are my friends. I'm hugging them, you know.
Other girls.
Ate other girls buli omu ku church kati ze tuluddewo kiki ayimiridde wali mufo ky'okuva mu kasana jobera nze namututtewo leave kasana dda wali wabbali ninda
And your church had those stairs.
Yeah.
You would look at other girls while they
of
are
course
going
we at
up.
university kati obwana bwa campus bonna buli awo
Buli awo, buyambuka, ndio,
bwana bonna buli hostels zitwetoolodde. So this girl, cutting the long story short, she would be quarrelsome. I even drew a paint. I'm a painter. I actually used to hide my pain in painting, in drawing stuff. If you've come to my house, you definitely see all the paintings in there are mine. So one of those days she said, every time I say stuff, you say sorry. You rush to say sorry. I'm like, what do you want me to say? You keep saying sorry. Because I come from a very brutal background of fighting, beating, what? I had promised myself I can never raise a voice to a woman in my life. I can never, not even a finger. Not even for whatsoever. That's why for all these years we've been married, actually, the 6 years we've known with each other with Alice, we have never fought or quarreled for anything.
Even quarreling.
Tekisoboka tuyombera kino nnyo kye kituyombya kyotasobola kucommunicating anoyogera kino saakitegedde bwe wakikoze ne ŋŋamba sigenda kiddamu.
Mwesotingira awo.
Very first namugamba I'm not God first of all. To si kiri kikuli mu mutima nze nsome biri mu mutima no. I do something random that you don't like, let me know very early. So that manye nti
So that you can say sorry.
ekyo nkiddamu nkivaako ne nkiddako ne seri ne njogera. Man, this babe sorry yamunyiza. Ne munyiza sorry ne munyiza.
Nemujjako ne mubikulako akabaati.
But today you'll say something. Ngamba today
You
you'll
kept
say
dodging.
it. Nemugamba no. Nanga today you'll say it. I said I'm not saying anything.
What did she want you to say?
Mbumbeko nange contributing mu conversation tuyombe mu awo tuyongere mu maaso abakyala balina engeri gye banyumirwamu naavu zaabwe yannema okutegeera just paka I said you sure you want me to say something, like you have to say something, like you don't want me to say. I said so I just stood up, drew the curtain and said get out of my house. Said I said, get out of my house. You said you wanted me to say something, so get out. So she thought I was joking and kidding. Said, I went, picked my shoes, put them on, and I left. Said, I sent her a message, and thereafter blocked her. I said, leave and leave the key with the landlord. Thank you very much. Then I'll come back. So she stayed there for 3 days. And then thereafter, she sends me a message on someone else's number that I left the key. So I came back after when she had left. Because I went to get to a guest house, then started living there while I was coming to do my shows. So thereafter, she stayed. So she left after. Then after she noticed I was back at around something like 9, she comes at night. So she comes at night, and then I say, she knocks. Of course, if I don't expect you in my life, my principle, I don't open that door. If you're the landlord, wait for me tomorrow or send me a message or whatever it is. I don't open for nobody at night. So what happened is I watched the movie and it was done. Of course, higher volume, cinematic experience is my life. So thereafter, she's like, it's me who has been knocking. I'm like, I opened the window. I'm like, what do you want? It's like, it's late. I'm like, no one stays in my house. You're a lady for crying out loud. So go home. Said, no. Said, when I said get out of my house, I meant get out of my life, by the way. So she thought I was kidding. I called a friend of mine who does Uber. Come and take this girl to her place. I closed the window. Thank you very much. What happened thereafter? Up to today, we've never spoke. That Kamanyiro has to stop in one way or the other.
That Kamanyiro
Yeah,
has
as
to
in
stop.
girls have
So
a
you
way
didn't
of
want
wanting-
a catalyst to the
No,
fire
no,
that you
no,
were
no,
already
no, no,
going
no, no,
through.
no, no, no.
Or that was your toxicity.
That was one of my
doing-
toxicity, yes.
That was your toxic
But
traits.
even me, by nature, I don't like nonsense. I don't communicate. We are human beings. I am not Jesus. I am not God to
One
see what's
word to
going
our
on.
viewers.
One word to the viewers
A
is
person
that,
that is going through a similar situation.
you're not alone. You're not the first, neither are you the last in this thing. And if you're not mentally ill right now, or if you've not had issues before with what is going on, the prices here, there, bills here, there, anything can spark you off and get you in a space where you feel you're not stable upstairs. But one of the things that you need to understand is that you're not beyond redemption. Don't take matters in your own hands and then conclude on yourself. Get to identify people who can speak into your life and open to them. You may not even open to them that it's you going through it, but
Asking riddles.
asking riddles in a third party or something like that.
Ask for the neighbor.
Ask for the neighbor, ask for your friend, and then you'll be able to receive help. You cannot die. The
You still
world
have a lot
still
to do.
needs you.
Yep.
But don't be there in silence and let that virus eat you up, because it never ends. It never ends. But it ends when you choose to vaccinate it by letting people into your life and then talk about what you're going through and let it out there, and then know that you're strong and powerful than whatever you're trying to battle with and fight with.
Wow. If you've gone through any form of depression, bipolar disorders, and mental health issues, please comment, let us know what exactly is happening. Are you in the middle of it, in the heat of it? Are you just getting into it and now you know that the weight of the world is on your shoulders? Are you at the tail end, coming out of the woods, but you just don't even know how to be able to emerge in the normal world and to function in the normal world? There are phases of depression, we've talked about them, but if you feel you're on any of the phases, make sure that you come out, talk to people, just like he said, make sure that you get the help that you can get. We love you, we're praying for you, and we know that you're going to be okay.